anyway, it's because of the jewelry, I'm sure. But it's, I think that was it for me is being able to show my vulnerabilities confidently, but still be a strong woman.
That's a really hard thing. I think letting go like that. That's
Telling me.
yeah, because I'm looking at you. I think that's a major accomplishment in life to be able to show that. Right?
You know what happens when you do that too? You show your genuineness even more. It shows more, and I found that doing that has so many people like coming towards me, as opposed to where I used to be, which was a wall, a moat, and a wall. That's how distant I would keep, and then wonder why people didn't know who I was. Well, you got to let them pass the walls in the moat. So I think you gave me that one too. It's like you're so distant that you have a moat between your two walls. I was like, whoa, I love that. So that was good. So, and that makes me feel good. And I'm very proud of myself about that, is to be able to do that kind of release and allow it.
Well, so the other question that this struck me when we were kind of thinking about this, what did you learn about the world? Because that's a big question. And I want to know how you internalize that about yourself.
Well, what I learned about the world is, like us, the world grows, right? So while the world is growing around us, it has a lot of rough edges on the outside. You know, it's not perfect. It's not pretty. Sometimes it's darn right ugly, right? But it has amazing potential when you allow it. So I learned that about the world, which reminds me about how I grow, is that I may be rough around the edges sometimes, or I may not know everything and be sparkly all the time, but I do have that amazing potential if I want to, if I so choose to grab the diamond and run. You know what I mean? So the world is, a lot of people would say it's hurting right now. And yes, on so many elements it is, but what we're not seeing is underneath what we're being blasted with on a daily basis is there's so much yumminess going on. I mean, I'll look at my Lions Club right now, raising money and preparing to feed over 150 families in our area who are in desperate need of assistance right now. Over 150 in America, right in my neighborhood, which means there's hundreds of families, thousands of families out there who need assistance right now. So yeah, the world is hurting, but see within that roughness, there's beauty, there's amazing potential, and you have people out there doing beautiful things.
Nice. That's really sweet. And the one thing I'll add to that, to your thought about feeding the folks, everybody does it at Thanksgiving. And one of the things I learned is it's the hardest day to volunteer, but the next day it becomes very easy. So I hope we all think about maybe volunteering Friday and Saturday, not necessarily just that day.
Yeah.
What you're doing is beautiful.
Yeah. We do it in December, actually. So it's nice. And if anybody wants to contribute, by the way, all you have to do is you can go to Port Jeff Lions online on Facebook. There, it's so easy. Reach out to us here at the radio station. We'll give it to you. $50 feeds a family. That's how we've been able to do it. So if you contribute, and the more you contribute, the more families we can help. And it's a beautiful thing. Our high school students, local lacrosse team, Port Jefferson Leos, they all get involved in putting this together. So, and funny story is, before I became a Lion, my father was a Lion. But before I became a Lion, years ago, when my son Nick was in high school, he would go with his friend around closer around the December time period. He goes, okay, I'm going over to Eric's and we're going to go build food bags. And I was like, all right. And he would go do it for years, Vince. For years he would do this. I didn't realize it was for this program.
Wow.
For the food drive. And Drew, Eric's father, always ran it for the Lions. When I joined the Lions, I didn't know Drew was a Lion. I've known Drew for years because of Eric, and our families have been a Lion for years. No idea, because he doesn't talk about all the contribution he give back that he does. And his whole family does so much for the community. And so now I'm part of the Lions. Drew's doing this. And now I know what my son was doing all these years. And I was like, oh my God, I never asked the next question, the next obvious question. So it made me proud that my son just did it year over year. No comment about it. He would just go and do it. And it's so beautiful. So if you get a chance to donate your time, or if you could donate, just do it for your local community. Give back is important.
Yes, and one of the nicest lessons that you just shared I learned that at a funeral for a friend of mine in the
Is ask more questions of my son when he does stuff? Oh no, that's a different thing.
I'm sure you ask him a lot of questions. I wouldn't do that to him. So have you ask more.
Fair.
Well, one of the nicest things is to do something for someone, to do a favor that can never be repaid. And at a Jewish funeral, one of the nicest things is to pour some dirt on a person who's going to their final resting place. And it really meant something. I thought that was such a cool thing, and I've kept that with. So to your point, do something for somebody that can never repay you and keep it to yourself. You will enjoy that even more. You'll get more out of it than the person you think you helped, because it's just a great thing.
Without a doubt, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back, continue our conversations of dreaming big and setting ourselves up for success in 2024. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne, and we're here today, of course, with Vince Perrotta. And if you would like to be a guest or lift up your business, product, non-for-profit, or if you have a question or a comment, please feel free to email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. That's what, Vince?
healthylifestyleswithla@gmail.com.
Yes, but leave the S off of the lifestyle. It's lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. That's good.
Always add an S to everything.
I know. I noticed that about you. What is that about? So funny. So welcome back. We were talking about dreaming big, right? We had some really nice, yummy conversation about that. But what obstacles did you overcome in 2023, Vince?
I think the biggest obstacle was I've got to get it all done. And in the sense that I was starting early, working late, and only kind of running myself down. So like when I was working, I really wasn't 100%. It was, I can do this and that'll be there tomorrow. So it was kind of I would characterize it recognizing my limitation.
Yeah, but it's not really a limitation. It's just an order of importance. You still got everything done, right?
Yes, it's just, it's a little more respectful of time and my humanity, because you need that.
Yes, I'd love that.
I mean, because a lot happened. This was a really very busy and successful year for you. And was there an obstacle that stands out as like a big thing that you overcame?
Well, I'm going to go on the personal side. I lost my husband, and I really had to contend with everything that came before that loss and with everything that comes after that loss. And so that was quite an interesting hurdle to overcome. It was just a few months ago, so I don't know if I've completely overcome it yet. We're still working through it, but that's an integration into an unexpected integration into your life that changes things. So yeah, that was a big obstacle.
That is a big event. So, and those, it's very funny because anytime you have to face your own mortality, because when other people pass, I don't care what anybody says. I think we think about our own mortality.
Sure.
So it definitely, that is big. That's tough.
That's a tough one.
So that kind of makes me think about, have you grown?
Yeah. How did I grow? I think staying in flow was a really allowing and trusting. So even when an obstacle like this came up, everything didn't come crashing down and everything didn't stop. I went with what it was supposed to be. So, at that point I had to go down to Florida where he was and take care of things with my son, and just staying in flow through the obstacle and staying in flow in my business and understanding that it's almost like waves, right? That navigation, you just have to go with it. And if you don't fight it, it just makes life yummier and easier. So staying in flow this year, I'm very proud about the fact that I've grown to be able to stay in flow. Don't get me wrong. I'm not doing it all the time. Sometimes I get in my own way, but that's one of the growth elements that I definitely noticed in myself. How about who did you love connecting with this year?
My son, interestingly enough, because, when and you'll appreciate this, you raise your kids. And so, when they're little, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And they get into their teen years and they can't get like,
nice.
Right? Yeah. And then they become young adults and you're okay. You're nothing to write home about, but you're okay. But when my son became a dad, that was really interesting. And he he came over one day and he gave me a big hug. And I said, that's really nice. I said, what's that for? And we always hug hello, but this embrace was a little longer. And he said, Dad, I think I finally understand. He said, I love my son so much. He said, I can't begin to, it's hard to express. He said, I think I finally get it. And it was really nice.
There's nothing we won't do for our kids. And it's the greatest thing I've ever done.
Yep.
And you do. You love them to death. And whether they're in your life or not in your life, you still, the love is there. The love will never go away. It always is. It's just you have to show it a different way, right? Yeah.
They're always yours and you love them.
Yeah, good, bad, ugly.
Right.
So, and they can only hope that they love you back, good, bad, ugly. So
this year, when you look back, did you take a big risk? What was the biggest risk you took?
Yeah, I took a huge risk. I made an offer on another business.
Wow.
Which will expand what I do and be able to reach more people. And so I can get my message out. So, that was a big risk. I was out on, the plank as far as I'm concerned. I'm like, should I jump or should I stay? That was a big risk. And me, I calculate everything. And to me, it's definitely worth it, mostly because of who that business is owned by. I have great admiration for her. And, I think it's going to be good stuff and brings us into 2024. So
I can really say, because I know you, that was a big decision, because I can see it all over your face and I can hear it in the cadence in your voice. That was not from the hip, and that was really from the heart, because you really gave some serious thought.
Yeah. Well, when you do something like that, you have to, because there's risks involved, and that are, a lot of which is not within your control, but you do the best efforts and you rely on your tools and resources. And I know I bring the right tools and resources to it, which will take this to the next level. So I'm very excited about it. Very excited about it. So biggest surprise?
Biggest surprise. I don't know. I got to think about that. How about you? Biggest surprise. That's tough.
Staying through turmoil, sticking it out. When things got sticky and messy and maybe wasn't going to work the way we thought it was going to work, staying in and just trusting that it would happen. That was my biggest surprise, that I was able to do that, and also a growth side too. That I really did that, because a lot of times people would be like, ditch it. I can't tell you how many people said, just go, forget it, don't do it. These are all the reasons why. And all I heard was their fear, not mine. Right. And I'm like, no, I really think I'm going to stay through this. I'm going to stick it out. And so glad that I did. Yeah.
Not quitting is important.
Yeah. And quitting's kind of easy. And when you do it, you need to be thoughtful, because you don't want to be regretful of not sticking it out.
And I think that there's something in that to be said. It's to that point. There was something this year that I wanted to quit, but I was part of a team, and the team was the only reason I didn't quit, because I made a commitment to the people that I was leading this team with, and I wanted to I didn't want to let them down, and I wanted to make sure I finished my commitment to them.
And that's a commitment to yourself. When we make commitments to other people, it's a commitment to ourselves as well. So yep. I love that you didn't do that. And that's within the tapestry of who you are, is that when you make a commitment, you keep to it, as do I. And, I say my word is my bond. My word is my bond. So if I make that commitment to you, I'm going to keep it. What cherished memories did you create, other than, of course, your grandson?
Well, actually, no, this one goes to my wife. So we
love Alex. Shout out to Alex.
We celebrated her birthday, and it was not a, kind of a big number. There are big milestones you hit. This wasn't a big number, but it was just an important year, because there was so many good things going on this year, but it was about everybody else. Cheers takes care of everybody else. So we did a special day at the wineries, and it was just the family. We spent the whole day together. And it literally was incredible. It was a great memory the whole day. And the only reason I say it is because I say this all the time. I'm like, are you happy? I ask my family all the time. I don't care about, are you happy? And she said, I'm really happy. I had the best time.
Oh, and that's beautiful. Oh, cherish moments.
Yeah, that's right.
I like that. That's good.
You had a book full this year. So which one stands out?
Gosh, so many. So